The operational response to the siege incident at Williambilla concluded late last night. Despite police efforts, the matter was unable to be resolved peacefully, and all 3 offenders were fatally shot by specialist officers. An ethical standards investigation is underway into the police response with oversight from the CCC. In total, 6 people have lost their lives. I travelled to the scene this morning and have been further briefed on the incident. It is an unimaginable tragedy. This has been incredibly distressing and tragic for everyone, particularly family, officers involved, colleagues, the organisation and the community. As you would appreciate, it is an extremely emotional and challenging time for the Queensland Police Service. Losing one of our own has a profound impact on every single officer and their families. To lose 2 officers in one incident is absolutely devastating. This event is the largest loss of life, police life, we have suffered in a single incident in many years. I can confirm the 2 officers who tragically lost their life overnight were Constable Matthew Arnold, 26 years old, Constable Rachel McCrow, 29 years old, and they were both from Tara Police Station. My heartfelt sympathies and condolences go out to their loved ones, friends and colleagues. The thoughts of the entire police family are with them at this extremely difficult time. I would also like to extend my condolences to the family of the 58-year-old man from a neighbouring property who was also killed during this incident. And I want to pay tribute to the 2 other officers who attended the job, Constable Keely Bruff and Constable Randall Kirk. They bravely did what they could to save their colleagues in the most horrendous circumstances. Their bravery was beyond belief. Thank you also to the specialist police and other first responders who were involved in the dangerous confrontation for many hours last night. Matthew and Rachel were highly respected and much loved members of the Queensland Police Service. They were both committed and courageous young people who had a passion for policing and for serving their community. Both under 30 years of age. Both had wonderful careers and lives ahead of them. Yesterday, as they did every day, they put their lives on the line to serve their community. In this awful incident, they made the ultimate sacrifice. Sadly, both Matthew and Rachel had only recently commenced their policing careers. Matthew was sworn in as a police officer in March 2020, while Rachel was sworn in last year in June 2021. Both officers started their careers in the Dalby Division before transferring to Tara Police Station. We have dedicated family liaison officers in place supporting their families. I will be visiting their families in the very near future. Tara is a small station within a very tight-knit community. We have support mechanisms in place to assist those and their close colleagues who are involved in this incident. Unfortunately, this incident is a tragic reminder of the unpredictable nature of policing. Every day our officers face very real dangers while protecting their communities. I know the days and weeks ahead will be extremely difficult for us as a police family. To all our officers and their loved ones, please look out for each other. I would also like to thank the local community here, as well as everyone across Queensland and Australia for their support. The texts, the messages, the phone calls, the emails have been endless. A sincere thank you to all of you. I know We are all thinking of the victims' families who are grieving at this difficult time. With honour, they serve.
Thank you, Commissioner. Look, I can only reiterate the words of what the Commissioner has said. Sadly, Matthew and Rachel, they pay the ultimate sacrifice by simply doing their job. They were both amazing people who were well respected and by their colleagues and those who were close to them. I spoke with Matthew's father last night. It's hard to know what to say. He was devastated and still processing what was occurring, and our thoughts go out to Matthew's parents and Rachel's family as well. I know around Queensland flowers have been delivered to many police stations, and the public support that is continuing to flow in really makes a difference for hard-working men and women of police, not only in Queensland but right across Australia. That support means so much to us, and we will continue to do our job, and we'll be responding to calls for service today and tomorrow and continue to look after the community, because that is our DNA. The Queensland Police Union has set up a remembrance fund for Matthew and Rachel, which is on our Facebook site and will be on our website shortly. Many members of the community have wanted to know if they can donate to assist their families. We've established that, and every cent will go to the families of Rachel and Matthew. One thing as a union we will do is not only look after our own and the entire Blue family, but we will continue to do our job. But what we do as well, we will ensure that the memories are never forgotten. They will be honoured. No police officer ever wants to go on the memorial wall, but sadly, Matthew and Rachel, their memory will be honoured, and on our police remembrance wall in the Botanical Gardens in Brisbane, their names will be added, as it will be at our national capital in Canberra, so they will never be forgotten. We will remember the courage and their diligence and their sense of community they displayed, and they put their lives on the line. As we move forward, we're coming into the festive season. Not that any time is good, but as we come into the festive season, it's even worse, because families come together. And I can only think for Matthew and Rachel's families and close colleagues, the hurt and the pain they are going to go through as we lead into Christmas, which is only 12 days away. What we need to do as police is come together, but with the support of the community, we will get through it. One thing which is really important, the ripple effect not only in Queensland but across Australia and New Zealand. This brings back memories to those who've lost loved ones in the past. And I only this morning got a message from a widow who lost her husband over 30 years ago. And can I say, it is just as raw over 30 years ago as to what it is today. So it's important we reach out to all those police families, whether it's 10, 20, 30 or 50 years ago. The pain never leaves, and it hurts them each and every day. But at times like this, it hurts even more. So thank you everyone for your support. We're going to continue. We will work with the police service to provide all the support we possibly can for Matthew and Rachel, their family and their colleagues at this very difficult time. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian. As I said last night, our hearts break again, and with the loss of life of these two brave officers, their innocence stolen by evil, a little bit of extra innocence slips away from our community. I don't think there's a single Queenslander today whose heart isn't broken. It is so sad, it is so devastating. And of course, our thoughts are with the family and friends and colleagues of those two very brave officers. We also extend our condolences to the family of the innocent local resident who was also murdered by these evil people, these truly evil people. There was a lot of bravery shown yesterday, a lot of bravery by many officers of the Queensland Police Service. The Commissioner and I have heard stories about just extraordinary human effort to be courageous, to support each other, to do whatever it took to keep the community safe and to protect each other. I wanted to particularly highlight those efforts. Those officers serve the community because of us, because they want to keep us safe. And when they are under attack, our community is under attack. It is sad, it is devastating. Our thoughts are with the family, friends, colleagues of those officers who have lost their lives, with the whole police family. And we make this commitment. Those officers will never, ever be forgotten. Ever. Their sacrifice will always be remembered. With honour they serve.
Any questions?
Commissioner, can we ask you what led up to this event? What led to police going to that dress in the first place yesterday?
Originally, it was a request from New South Wales Police to check on a missing person. BAU call. So 2 sets of officers went, 2 from Chinchilla and 2 from Tara. As I said, I went to the scene. It's confronting, as you could appreciate. And whilst there is an investigation, and I'll keep my comments brief, in my opinion, those officers did not stand a chance. The fact that 2 got out alive is a miracle.
Was there any indication there were arms on the premises at the time before police went
Look,
to that address?
we're going through that, but certainly all police do risk assessments, and those risk assessments are quite thorough, and we will look at that in our investigation, but certainly you know, those risk assessments are done before we attend any jobs.
Commissioner, can you rule out whether one of the offenders called the police to come to that property?
No, we can't rule anything out at the moment. There will be a thorough investigation. I will now go to where the incident centre is set up to get a full brief from investigators. But certainly I expect the processing of the scene, the investigation will take days, if not weeks.
What can you tell us about that missing person?
The missing person, we, as I said, got a request from New South Wales that a person had been missing for a considerable period of time, and then that request was given to the local police to go to this address to check on that missing person. I understand from my brief that that person had been missing for up to about 12 months, but people had been in contact with him. However, that contact was lost in recent days, and they just wanted to check on that missing person.
Without preempting the coronial inquiry and that critical incident investigation, there have been reports of the brutality involved in these murders. In the first instance, of the officers having their guns taken from them beyond the initial hail of gunfire, that even after they had died, the shooting continued. Are those reports accurate?
Look, I cannot go into any detail because there will be a coronial inquest. Not only that, there is an investigation and there is processing of the scene. And as I said before, the scene is quite unimaginable. It's distressing. And in my view, those officers did not stand a chance. And I don't know how 2 got out alive.
Were they lured there?
There's considerable, and I think you would all know this from just the messaging that's going out, but there's considerable weaponry involved in what took place yesterday.
Were they lured there? Were police lured to that address with that murderous intent in mind?
We don't know any of that yet. There will be a thorough investigation. I will come back to you, obviously, with more information as we get that. But please be mindful. I am in a situation where we do have an investigation and also a coronial inquiry down the track, and I'll be very mindful as to what I say.
2 surviving officers and female first-year constable, can you talk to their bravery?
The bravery of those officers is just unbelievable. To think they survived the scene, let alone then got out to make phone calls and call for assistance, was just extraordinary. I will shortly meet with Keely, and I know that she's talked people already through what took place, and the people that I have spoken to cannot believe how she survived and what she did during that period of time.
Has Keely left hospital then?
She has at the moment, and I will take up with her very shortly.
Tell us what happened when the specialist officers arrived with their special weapons and tactical expertise. Did that shootout happen at the same location location, or did it happen elsewhere?
I'm not going to go into too much detail because obviously there are operational sensitivities. However, we do call CERT in for a reason. We call CERT where there's heavy fire, where there's a lot of ammunition, a lot of weaponry, and they were called in for a certain reason, and I take my hat off to them. They did a tremendous job. That's what they're there to do. They're specialist officers. I would say for them, just as it is for everyone else, what they had to do, the scene they were in, extraordinarily difficult and extraordinarily distressing.
I understand before CERT arrived, there were 16 general duties officers who risked their life to go in and get their fallen colleagues out of there.
Yes, there was. There were 16 officers that went in to retrieve the body of their fallen colleagues. That too was bravery beyond belief. And I know that was also incredibly difficult and incredibly challenging and complex. I take my hat off to them. In essence, when you're in a situation like this, you sometimes have to wait for those specialist officers, and decisions need to be made very, very quickly. And those decisions were made, and they too, when I think about what they did and how they did it, because I've been briefed on that as well, was extraordinarily brave. And I take
They didn't know if they were dead or alive. The officers in there were dead or alive, and they had to get in there.
They had to get in there. I mean, that's the first thing you think about is, I need to get in to make an assessment. How are my officers? Are they still alive? What backup do we need? You have to get in there. And they did that extraordinarily well, knowing that they were going to be under fire. But as I said, extraordinarily brave, and I thank them for that.
Did officers know what happened with them? Did officers know that the member of the public was nearby or at the time? Or?
I'm not sure. I can't answer that. As you could appreciate, so as things unravel that quickly in what is one of the most complex and horrendous environments you can be in, it was going to take us a number of days, if not weeks, to unravel every single aspect of the scene, but every single second of what took place.
Can you speak about what that neighbour did?
From what I understand, the neighbour was just going to see what was occurring, and I'm not sure whether it was because of the fire or whether it was because of, hearing weapons being shot. But that neighbour, like my officers, didn't stand a chance either.
There are reports of camouflage gear and military-grade weapons being involved. Can you confirm any of that?
Look, I won't go into that. I know there was many weapons and we need to work through that. But, these are officers who every day go about their business in their small town to keep their community safe. What I saw I walked the scene up to the house. They just could not stand a chance in that environment.
What can we learn from this so it never happens again?
I think there's always learnings. We will go back, revisit every aspect of this, revisit every aspect of, what we know about these people, how we responded, were they known to us? I mean, that really is the start of the investigation. But what happens in incidents like this, is you do just that. You debrief, you see, how we responded. But I've got to say, from what I've seen, they didn't stand a chance. But the response after that was just excellent.
Commissioner, when you walked the scene, can you describe what you felt?
Look, I won't go into too much of that, other than to say that when you are in that scene, walking towards the house and where this apparently took place, they were in an exposed area where I would go back to say that I cannot believe that 2 officers got out alive.
Had the offenders lived?
Is that true to say that the wife of this missing person reported him missing? And did police have any reason to think any criminal activity was linked to this missing person?
Look, I won't go into any further details. I've just got to be mindful until I get the full brief of where the investigation's at, and I will get that very, very shortly. So we'll come out with what else we know. However, we, as I said, did go there as a result of a reported missing person. And as I said, police always do thorough checks before they go into these environments.
Can you at least say whether there were warrants for him?
I won't confirm that at this stage. Just need to get a little bit more information.
3 people who were shot by police, are they all considered offenders, or is there any innocent party within that group?
They're all considered offenders.
Had they lived there for some time? Or they
I'm just getting that information.
Are they
Yeah.
related to the missing person?
I don't know that at this stage. We're just getting all of that information, and I know there's some information out there. I just have to be really mindful as to what I say before I go public with that information. Can I sincerely thank you all for being here, and I thank the community, but above all I thank all Queensland police officers who day in day out serve their community in what is a very, very difficult environment. To all of the officers that are involved in this, my heart goes out to, but particularly to Matt, to Rachel and family. I'm so sorry for what has happened here. If we could have prevented it, done more, I'm sure every officer here would have done that. Our condolences, our sympathies, and I know all Queenslanders are thinking about you as well. Thank you.